So yeah, TKKNMSTR here with my best spectacle slash moment of 2013, and that for me was the winter chapter in The Last of Us. So this chapter, things get extremely good and dramatic and so many other things. I guess I'll just go down the list. So basically, without spoiling it, stuff has gone down, and then you you get to do things that you have not done in this game yet through a different perspective, which is very interesting. And that itself in The Last of Us, because the game is just so riveting and everything is so explicit, the things that you get to do, from your new perspective become even more so, which is so hard to believe. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is, the game to this point was just, so good. And then they just like kept getting better. It was just like, the next step up, but you didn't know it could get there, and it just went over the top from here for me. And then you get to an environment where basically, stealth is your friend because you cannot see anything. Well, you can see, but the visibility is just so against you and so low that you can barely see. That I myself ended up backing into an enemy, and it just like freaked me out on the spot when I was sitting here playing. It was it was really funny because I was like I jumped in my seat. I was so scared because I was there's so much tension. I was just so tense, and I was so immersed in it. I just felt it. And so you have those two things going on, and then the chapter ends with an amazing cat and mouse encounter that is just, for the ages encounter that I will never forget. It was so well done. And then the animations, if you die in the sequence, are so brutal and gruesome and grotesque. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they went there, and Naughty Dog went there, and I applaud them because, yeah, it fits the mood of the game, and it was completely deserving to be what it was. So it was nice to see them not pull any punches and like put their vision into the game of what they thought it would be. But yeah, I guess that's like a short reason why this is my favorite moment of the game. Cause it's got a lot of spoilers, and I don't want to spoil anything. So without spoiling anything, it's kind of hard to be vague and talk around it. But you get to do some cool things from a different perspective, which were really, really, or like doing it from that perspective. Basically, it didn't really change anything. It just made it sink in even more, just how surreal and brutal and vicious The Last of Us, like the setting is in that world, and just how crazy it's gotten for humanity. And then the stealth sequence was amazing because it was just chaotic. It was not only where the enemies could not see you, but you could not see them. Therefore, it created the situation of always being on pins and needles the whole time and being completely tense about it, like I was in my chair when I got freaked out by the enemy that I backed into, and I was like, that was crazy. But it was also very satisfying to just like go through and stealth everybody as they were completely unaware that you were there, and you were. But then it was also a very sad. I guess to an extent it was sad because you were going into someone else's habitat, for lack of a better word, and just destroying it. And there's very little shelter in The Last of Us, like in that universe, like after the infection day, and then you're just going into somebody else's home and destroying it. And it's like, well, where are they going to go from here? Well, it's like, sorry, dude, but you're not exactly. Well, then again, in to our defense, or to Joel's defense, they weren't exactly the best people, and they kind of deserved it. So whatever. That said, though, like there was like a bit of like it wasn't all good what you were doing to them, but they didn't deserve none of it. So that was an interesting perspective. And in in that encounter, that cat and mouse sequence, just really well done, and yeah, really well done. And I enjoyed it and immensely. and I applaud Naughty Dog for all the brutality that they were putting into the game, without the unflinching amount of brutality, and not being too over the top with it, or just being like the right tone. But yeah, that's my pick for the best spectacle or moment in a game this year, which is the winter chapter in The Last of Us from Naughty Dog.